This is number one fumble. And so if they hired 5 advisors to go sit in a room with them, these are logical players. You're one of them. What counsel do you give to them?
Well, when I was driving here this morning, I know the White House watches your show. They watch mine, but not as much. But I've been told by the folks that they love your show, and I hope they listen. It's killing Trump. My family, people on the street, my callers, my listeners, I've got my finger on the pulse. I don't need a poll to tell people want a rebel that goes after the evil deep state.
They certainly do. And while the president, Donald Trump, purported to be one of the warriors who wanted to fight and dismantle the deep state, he's proven to do pretty much anything but. And so it's curious why Alex Jones continues to provide cover for the Trump administration, even as they bungled the release of the Epstein files. Prior to that, didn't want to release the Epstein files. And what's interesting to me, Cenk, is how Alex Jones speaks from both sides of his mouth, because fact of the matter is he built his entire career railing against the deep state, talking about how the government works against us, does these cover-ups. He wanted the Epstein files released. I mean, this is the type of stuff, again, he built his name on. And then when Trump comes into office and proves that he is the antithesis of the type of leadership Alex Jones wants, he provides cover. And that's what I want to present today. Before I do, Cenk, your 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't think he was providing cover for Trump. So I listened to it. Yeah, it seems like that. And he keeps attacking the Democrats, trying to make this seem like it's entirely a Democratic problem. But I actually think my read on it was that he was doing cover for Israel. And it was kind of stunning. And part of the reason why I think that he attacked the Democrats so much and tried and defend the Republicans is not just because he's a Republican, because he wants to divide the country again. Remember, guys, don't blame the guys who actually did this. Blame the Democrats. Get back into your partisanship. So look out for that.
On behalf of whom, though, Cenk? On behalf of whom? Who does he want to do that for? Like, what does he get out of dividing the country?
Alex, you like conspiracy theories, right? My new theory is that Alex works for Israel. So I'll explain why a little bit later, and also in this interview, he explains how Trump should lie to cover up this mess. It's amazing. So let's watch the videos and then I'll comment.
All right, so the audience knows what you're thinking. Let me tell you what I think. I don't think that he's working for Israel. I think that Alex got a little taste, little tasty taste of what access to the White House is like, and I don't think he wants to let that go. So with that in mind, let's start with the first clip, because this is where I felt like I heard the first red flag in his commentary in this conversation with Patrick Bet-David. Take a look.
The Republican Party is the pedophile protection party when it's the Democrats that are 99% in the Epstein files, actually doing stuff to kids. Let's go after the people that are Democrats that are implicated by witnesses raping young girls at the island, at Zorro Ranch, at the New York facility, and in Paris. Somehow the Democrats have turned this all the way around, and conservatives are demanding, yeah, Trump, you're covering it up, release it all. And that needs to be looked at, but we need to have the main focus be on the admitted stuff that's in all of this. Bill Gates, all of it, the Democrats, the leftists, all these top billionaires that have hated Trump. This is cut and dry, but somehow it's all been turned around against Trump. And a lot of that's because of the mishandling of Trump coming out and saying it's all a hoax. And then Roger Stone went and talked to him and said, no, sir, you mean the stuff about you being involved is a hoax? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, I have to get this one thing out of the way. It seems tangential, but it's important because it gets on my skin. Okay, leftists are socialists. Okay, calling anyone who's on like to the left of you, so like a leftist is like the dumbest thing ever. Okay, like just please understand what a leftist is. They'll call someone like Gavin Newsom a leftist. Gavin Newsom is a corporatist hack and a terrible governor, but he's not a leftist. Anyway,
yeah.
Let me just put that aside. Okay, hold on. No, let me go. Okay, go.
Okay, just real quick in that video, notice what he said there about Trump should say, oh, when I said it's a hoax and you shouldn't look at the whole thing, I meant my portion of it is a hoax. Now, Trump's never said that. Alex Jones is coaching him how to lie about it on air, because he knows his people are watching Patrick Bet-David's show. So he's coming on there. Remember, Trump, you're supposed to lie this way. So I thought that was a little telling.
Providing cover. He's providing cover. Like that's his daddy. Okay, that's what he's doing. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So look, the whole idea of this being a partisan issue, anyone, literally anyone who tries to make this a partisan issue, dispense of them. I mean it, because they are super toxic and they have no interest in doing what is right for this country and right in terms of justice for the people who managed to survive that disgusting predator, Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, because fact of the matter is, if you've looked at the files that have been released, and by the way, Channel 4 in the UK says that just 2%, they did an investigation, just 2% of the Epstein files have been released. Put that in your head and remember that as you hear more from this administration about how great they are in complying with the legislation that forces them to release the Epstein files. But like, there are Democrats and Republicans implicated in this. Okay, so I looked into Les Wexner, for instance, not a Democrat, apparently. He's a major donor to the Republicans and has been for many years. Reports from 2022 and 2026 show that Wexner has continued to donate to Republican candidates and committees, such as the Republican Governors Association, while also donating to select Democratic candidates. Okay, I just named a Democratic donor, mega donor. Let me go ahead and be fair and balanced and mention someone who I saw as a hero, Noam Chomsky, was also implicated in the Epstein files. Not necessarily in criminality, but he was giving Jeffrey Epstein advice as he was being accused of more sexual misconduct. Okay, you have someone who I idolized doing that. And so we just have to be honest about what's going on here. Okay, I have no commitment or devotion to any political figure or ideologue. What I want is the truth and I want justice.
This will be fun. Let's talk about first dates. We've all been there. You're trying to figure someone out, so you ask the important stuff up front. What are you looking for? What are your deal breakers? You get right to the point to see if they're the right person for you. Well, the same goes if you're hiring. You definitely want to address key questions first to see if someone could be right for your role. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. When you post your job, ZipRecruiter suggests screening questions to help you identify top candidates faster. And today you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. Their matching technology immediately starts finding qualified people who actually check all your boxes. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site. Ask key questions and hire faster with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
By the way, I should note that Les Wexner did eventually leave the Republican Party to become an independent because he wasn't happy with Trump, but he continued donating to Republican candidates. Then you have Leon Black. Was Leon Black a Democrat? Well, he did give money to Democrats and Republicans. My point is, this is not a partisan issue. If you're making it a partisan issue, then you don't give a damn about justice related to this Epstein story at all. You're just a political operative, you're a hack, and you're pathetic. Back to you, Cenk.
Yeah, you know who else gave money to Democrats? Trump. He gave money to Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer earlier in their careers, and to many other Democrats. So is this a partisan issue? Absolutely not. In fact, if someone's trying to make it a partisan issue, they're hacks, and I think that they're not all working for Israel, but you should question that. So were top Democrats involved in some of these abuses? Very, 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 very likely. Very likely. Okay, and do Democrats sell us out to Israel as well? Of course, nonstop. So do Republicans. And then you see these Israel first characters. They give to Democrats, they give to Republicans, they give to Democrats, Republicans. Why? Because guys, they're not on the left or right. They're on Israel's side, period. Everything is geared towards help Israel, help Israel. Oh, we got these, the videotapes of all of these, eminently blackmailable, powerful and wealthy men now. We have the politicians, etc. So now back to Alex Jones. So Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. It's possible that he's kissing Trump's ass. He thinks Trump's people.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
No, he does, no question, right? So that's not in question. The question is why, right? So your theory is he loves the access, he wants to get back into the White House. Perfectly great theory, has a good chance of being true, right? Well, the reason why I bring Israel to Alex Jones in specific is because Alex Jones has all these conspiracy theories that he did for all these decades, right? Apparently real ones mixed in with absolutely absurd ones. So, like if you were a person who, or a government that was running a conspiracy, what would you want? You would want a character like Alex Jones to confuse people and make conspiracies seem absurd, ludicrous. Don't believe any conspiracy theories. Now we find out one of the largest conspiracy theories in history is correct. And all of a sudden, Alex Jones is like, I don't know, we gotta cover it up. It's just the Democrats, it's not Trump, it's not the two people. And you know what, in all these things, I mean, we had the lizard people, we have the aliens, we have the gay frogs, but somehow we don't have Israel. Somehow Alex Jones just missed Israel being a possibility, even though Drop Site News has already shown that everything Epstein did, he did to help Israel. And that's the one thing you couldn't figure out, Alex? Nah. I think Alex Jones is a false flag operation, and he's being. And by the way, he made all that money. People are like, how did he make that money from that rinky-dink show? Okay, yeah, it had some popularity for a while, but we know the numbers of what shows like that get. I could never understand how he had that much money, hundreds of millions of dollars. My theory, and if you don't like my theory, Alex, you can kiss my ass, is that you're a bitch who's always worked for Israel. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.